You may have noticed that anxiety and depression often go hand in hand. You might find yourself being anxious all day long until you feel too exhausted to be anxious and simply become depressed. Whatever your specific pattern between anxiety and depression is, there's a reason these two are linked. This pattern is what Tony Robbins calls the crazy eight pattern. Turn the eight sideways, and it looks like an infinity symbol. We can infinitely oscillate between anxiety and depression. But why? We find ourselves stuck in this pattern because it meets some of our six human needs, but it meets them in a negative way. This means that to escape this pattern, what we have to do is discover what needs the pattern's meeting and find a positive way to meet those needs instead. If you're feeling depressed, this is probably meeting your need for connection. It could be that you're lonely and you may not even realize it. Becoming depressed is a way to take some time to connect with yourself and give yourself permission to ask somebody else to attend to you. There's a time and a place for such things, and it's not always a signal of a problem. But if you have chronic depressive tendencies, it's worth trying to fulfill these needs in a more positive way. As humans, it's incredibly important that we feel connected with other humans. But it's all too easy to fall into a pattern of self-isolation, perhaps simply out of laziness. Even the most introverted among us need regular human connection to feel energized. If you're struggling with anxiety, there's a good chance it's meeting your need for a sense of significance. When we're anxious, even the smallest of things can be expanded into an existential crisis. To resolve these anxious tendencies, you'll need to find a consistent, positive sense of significance in your life. Some people manage to find this in their career, but most never will and truly do not need to. A sense of significance can be found in any relationship. If one person values you as a friend, you are significant to them, and you can lean into that. That would also help you meet your need for connection. The reason that anxiety and depression often come together in the crazy eight pattern is that that pattern itself helps to meet our need for variety. If your pattern skews towards anxiety, you might find yourself feeling anxious all day until eventually you just become too tired and simply become depressed. If your pattern skews towards depression, eventually you'll get bored of being depressed and you'll start to feel anxious just so that things start to feel a bit more significant. To escape the pattern as a whole, it's important to fulfill your need for variety in a positive way. This means making sure your days and weeks are balanced with an assortment of activities to keep you stimulated across multiple dimensions. It's easy to fall into a pattern of doing the same old thing day after day, but this will inevitably result in depression and eventually the crazy eight pattern. So if you're struggling with anxiety, depression, the crazy eight pattern, it's worth checking in on how you're meeting your six human needs. Any needs that are being met in a negative way must be met in a positive way to escape this pattern. For my full overview of the six human needs, check out the link to the video in the description.